Hello everyone. Um, Today in this exercise we exploit SQL injection vulnerability. I will post the link on Canvas so you'll have access to this lab. But first you need to make sure that you have created an account. You need to have an account to be able to complete this assignment. So in this assignment, what we are going to do is exploiting the vulnerability to gain access to the administrator account. Okay, so this is the login page. So our task is clear. It is, to bypass the authentication and gain access to the admin account. So at this point, we have the username. As you know, usernames are sometimes can easily be guessed. There are also so many people who are using um, default username. So let's just assume that we have the username. So what we need to do is, you know, either to figure out the password or to figure out a way to trick the system so we can be easily authenticated or we can have, access to the administrator account. The first thing that I'm going to do is checking if the application that uses a SQL database in the back end has vulnerability. As we discussed this in the classroom, the first step in SQL exploitation or such type of security auditing is identifying weaknesses. Identifying weaknesses is the first and most critical step of such exercises. So in this case, we will check if this application could leak a SQL query. The question that may follow is how? The answer is by generating error codes that gives us clue using SQL characters or strings. In this exercise, uh, we will inject character that will trigger the error code, which will give us a clue, or which we will be able, to use, to determine whether this um, uh, system is vulnerable or not. So what I'm doing is I will enter, in this case, okay, admin, and I can enter any character and I will try to log in. So as you see, we got a response. This is error code. It says invalid username and password. This tells us that the database is vulnerable. Okay, so as you know, when you enter username and password, what happens is the middleware or the web application uh, creates a statement dynamically that will be executed in the backend by the database uh, system. Uh, in normal case, the statement looks like this. Okay, select from users table um, where username equal to, let's say the username is admin, administrator, and password is equal to password. So this is what is going to be executed um, uh, in the database. So when you enter your username and password, the media web application dynamically, just it takes, your input, it dynamically, just creates, this statement, and this statement will be executed by the database, and the database, respond. So now what I'm going to do is I will exploit this vulnerability by just manipulating this. I want to inject this. Okay, so this code changes this statement. It completely changes the statement, and it does the magic. How? By entering this in the username section, then just I can enter any character in the password section. It doesn't matter. You can enter anything. I will bypass the authentication mechanism, and I will be able to get access to the administrator account. Question is why and how. I think that's the most important question that we need to ask, and that's also the question that we need to answer. So how does this do the magic? So when we enter this in the username section, this is the statement that is going to be created by the web application dynamically, and that's going to be executed by the database. Select from users where username is equal to administrator dash dash and password equal to anything that you are entering, just any random character that you are entering. So this is what happens. As you know, um, any SQL character is interpreted and executed as SQL code. This single quote closes this string, which is administrator. And as we discussed before, dash dash is it's a commenting character, and it represents a comment. For instance, in this case, the dash dash tells the database that everything that comes after this dash dash, including the password, is a comment. So what happens is the database skip this section and execute only the rest, this part of the statement. So the most important part, the password section, is going to be skipped, which means the statement that's going to be executed looks like this. The database would check username match to a username that is stored within the users table. Then it will go ahead and authenticate you. So you'll have access to the administrator account. So let's go ahead and try this. So let me just copy this. Hmm? Let me copy this. Then I will paste this section. Then I will know any character and let's see. Oh, I see. The problem is it's a spelling error. Okay, yes. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to, okay, then copy this. Let's text, let's paste this in here. Then as I said, you can enter any, character and let's log in. Okay, now we are uh, in the user account. We successfully exploited the vulnerability and we got access to the administrator account.